Now, Kelvin, we've got a lot of crises going on at the moment. To you, what's the biggest problem that we're facing in this country?
Well, the biggest problem, I think, will be electing Liz Truss over Rishi Sunak, to be honest, because I think that will be a disaster. I think the idea that we give away tax cuts or VAT cuts when we face a much bigger issue, which will be which is the energy, that money simply becomes another debt. You know, just look at the price of sterling. I know your viewers may not think that's important, but it is always a reflection of the strength of an economy. And we are right down, I think, at 118 or something. And the running average of sterling is $1 is 140 to the pound, dollar against the pound. So these are very technical issues, but they do reflect the state of the country. We get the economy right, everything else is right. Now, look, it's not our fault that we have supported Ukraine, right? Ukraine represents democracy, and the price of democracy is expensive gas. We simply have to put up with that. We say to the skint, we give you your money, right? The idea of giving it to the middle classes or to the 45,000 a yearers, which is the point the Chancellor was making, right? We can't do that. We haven't got the money to do that, and nor is it right. You have to deal with the substantive issue is that the gas is in short supply, prices go up, and therefore we are all in pain. Now,
but hang on, Kelvin. Kelvin, you're the former editor of The Sun. Your readers back then want more money. People want more money in their pockets.
There were millions of those distinct tens of thousands right now.
There were millions. There were millions of readers of The Sun when you were editor. But anyway, your readers of The Sun, they want more money in their pockets. Is that not the way to get economic growth?
They're not going to get it. Forget it. They are not going to get it. They are not going to be funded in the way that is going to make gas plentiful. They have to reduce it. Yes, I know it's painful. They just don't have to get on with it. The price of it in the Ukraine, when people stood up to the very people who are driving our gas prices higher, what was it? It was missiles through their front door, killing people. The 13, 14, 16,000 have been fighting for this. It is part of our fight. Democracy is our fight. This is the price that's paid. And all you've got is a load of bloody socialists marking down the street saying, we're not going to run your railways. We're not going to run your post offices. That's the kind of people we have generated in our country. It is a painful moment for us all. We have to put up with it.
OK, well, Kelvin, that's strong stuff. It doesn't look great for the UK if you listen to Kelvin. Now, Joe, we're going to be talking about crime with you. Now, you've been looking at what's been going on in Liverpool in particular and around our country. It seems that gangs are mobilising and it seems that crime is only going up. What do you think's behind this? You've been looking at the psychology of how these gangs operate.
Well, the psychology of how gangs operate really is that sense of identity, belonging, self-esteem, respect, collaboration, community, and perhaps things they haven't otherwise had. So it becomes very attractive to join a gang. And what's going on at the higher level of organised crime is money, actually. There are people out there saying, listen, we can turn you from a gang, we can actually, make you money. And it's almost like gangs are a gateway to that sort of organised crime. And now that we're in a position where it's not just that people want money, people desperately need money because the fear of people right now and the rising prices is huge. So I think that's very much an element of it. There is a chance there for people to make money and they go from organised gangs where they feel actually a strong level of connection, of respect. This is one of the reasons why Liverpool can't get names out of people. Once you belong in a group like this, you absolutely do not grass, you do not snitch. It's as if you're immune to the terrible things that are going on. You may not do it, but somebody else does it. And you feel that you're almost like a family at this point, perhaps people who didn't have that feeling when they're growing up. So it's very frightening to think this is only going to spiral as our need for money becomes greater.
Now, Kelvin, we're watching this omni-crisis unfold in the country, and people are thinking, where on earth is the leadership?
Well, it's not helpful that our Prime Minister got the bullet. To be honest, I wasn't in favour of the Prime Minister getting the bullet under any circumstances, but it's certainly a shocking piece of timing that he's gone and we haven't got somebody to take their place. The only good news about this is that whenever the new Prime Minister takes over, they've still got enough time to deal with the energy pricing aspect before your pricing actually goes up, which is sometime in, I think, in early October. So, look, it's not good. It's not a good look. The Tories are going to be absolutely slaughtered at the next election in a manner which I have never seen. I live in a very wealthy area. I'm pleased to say, by the way. So if anybody wants to tweet in, I'm very sorry. I'm not apologising for living in a wealthy area. In the last May elections, 38% voted Lib Dem against 35% Tories. Round here, everybody has been a Tory for 1,000 years. By the way, Dominic Raab, boom, he'll be gone. And actually, it's going to be a close-run thing if Boris does decide to say that, boom, he won't be gone. I can see it's being absolutely slaughtered. And my feeling is that Liz Truss actually will make that slaughter even worse. So it was a very unfortunate piece of timing. The Conservative Party look dreadful. The Conservative leadership look dreadful at this moment. You won't find anybody, even among all my friends, who I'm pleased to say are all Conservatives, by the way. I refuse to talk to Socialists. We have nothing in common. That includes my eldest daughter. I'm only joking, Kirsten. No, I'm not. Hold on a second. Anyway, it's very tough. It's very tough to be a Conservative right now, I can tell you.
Yes, I think a lot of people are deeply unimpressed and also a little bit ashamed for the government that they've elected. It's sort of, you have to pinch your nose when you put the cross in that box, I imagine. Joe, I don't have any idea what your politics are, but what do you think the psychology is? How do you think the impact of having what seems to be a vacuum at the top of government is for people who are facing this crisis coming?
I mean, it's extraordinary. And it may be summed up a bit by an American client I had the other day. I mean, they've got enough troubles of their own in America. But she said to me, can you just explain to me what's going on in the UK? So you have a prime minister who's still in power, except he's never there and he's on holiday. And then you've got two other people who want to be prime minister who are on the telly all the time saying what they will do. So we still don't know what will happen. And there's only a couple of 100,000 at most of people voting for them. I thought, when you put it like that, it's absolutely ridiculous. So all this time has been spent on hustings and whatever over the last couple of months. We had Boris today popping up and saying, yes, it's going to be eye-watering for you people in terms of cost of living. But don't worry, they're there. It'll be all right. But how is it going to be all right? I mean, we've got two different would-be PMs with different views, which are changing all the time. So I think the vacuum words you used at the beginning is exactly where we are. We're in a vortex of no government. When they say the word government, you think, who are they? Who are the government?